everyone, and welcome to the YouTube channel for Enchanted Vibes Spiritual Readings and Wellness. I am Queen T, and I am the creator of Enchanted Vibes and the co-owner of Vibe and High. In this video, I'm going to be giving a quick tutorial of the how-to basics of the Divine Feminine Water that I made last week. So I made this and I posted it in a couple of spiritual groups and in the group that I'm in for my coven. And a lot of people were like, what's that? So this is just a guide, basically. I'm not going to get too specific with what I did because it was for me, but I'll give you some tips on how to do this for yourself based on your own needs. So as far as things you are going to need, do you need, this one already has stuff in it, a nice sized glass bowl. This actually has a floor wash in it that I'm going to use on the floor and hard surfaces. This is not my Divine Feminine Water because it's still charging. But you're going to need that. Or you're going to need a nice sized mason jar. If you can get one without the metal lid, that's better. They do make them that way. It's kind of like a closed top. I wish I brought it upstairs, but I didn't. But if you have to use one with metal, put a piece of plastic between the lip of it and the lid because water and metal equals tragedy. Just saying. So try not to use this if you don't have to. You want to burn, you want to set your space, you want to have it be, you want to have your mind right when you're creating this. And so you want to burn like a feminine incense. I used rose for its properties specifically, and of the divine feminine and all that. And then gather your herbs and know what herbs you're going to use beforehand. If you know how to divine, you should divine about what herbs to use with your ancestors. That's a whole other video. And make sure you're divining on the purpose as well. Everything has a purpose. And I actually have a video of how to enchant herbs. So, and I actually did that video while I was making my incense, not this. This was part of the thing that I was making with it. So watch that video if you do not know. It's a kind of a quick tutorial on how to divine on herbs, so make sure you watch that if you haven't. And that's only if you have a spiritual basis with your ancestors. If you don't talk to your ancestors, then you can just pray over them and pray that, yeah, just pray. Anyway, you should have mostly feminine herbs for this, but everything needs balance. And so it's okay to have a couple of masculine herbs. In the one that I did, I actually had 4 feminine herbs and 3 masculine herbs. Rose, jasmine, and hibiscus are all feminine herbs, and mint and lavender are masculine, just like as an example. Again, know what you are using and why. It's more about the purpose than whether they're masculine or feminine, but you definitely want to make sure you have a significant amount of feminine herbs for this. As far as the whys, love, protection, healing, clarity are all very good intentions for this. And those are things that protection it can be either masculine or feminine, but usually love, healing, clarity, those types of things are usually feminine. And if you don't have access to an herbal encyclopedia, Google is your friend. But I highly encourage that you get the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. This has a few hundred pages, and that's what I use as a reference for mine. I actually have a spreadsheet of all my herbs and what their purposes are and whether they're masculine or feminine, so that I don't have to flip through books. But if you've seen my herbs, you've seen how many I have. So I have a lot. I'm not flipping through anything. You want to purify your vessel with Florida water. So This is one that I bought, but I have made 2 different Florida waters. This just happens to be one that I bought. And there's recipes online, and I may make a Florida water video here pretty soon, just so you can see how it works. There's ones that you cook, and there's ones that they have to sit, or you could just buy them. I have a medical physical shop near me, and until mine is open, that is my place to go until my store actually opens, which I'm super excited about here pretty soon. Ooh, sneak peek announcement. So yeah, make sure you have that. Rub some on your hands and rub it around whatever it is. Make sure you get the top. Use a cotton swab to get some of the excess off. Cotton has properties as well that are great. It's an amplifier, so there's that too. If you don't have Florida water, you can use like lemon infused spring water. Just let the lemon sit in it for maybe a day at least. Charge it during the full moon, whatever. Put it in spring water, because lemon's a purifier. So just slice the lemon really thin, place it in a glass vessel with about, at least 3 cups of water. If you have a bigger one, I would say no more than 5, somewhere between 3 and 5. And let it sit for like 24 hours. And then strain it with like cheesecloth if you can. Try not to use metal in your workings, but if you have to, you have to. Just pray about it. I used about a tablespoon of each herb, and then I put them on a white plate. I enchanted my herbs based on what I needed each one to do. And again, if you don't know how to enchant, pray, but I do have an enchanted video. Watch that. After each herb is enchanted properly and individually, make sure you divine for confirmation. And then you can mix them together and enchant them or pray over them to work together in harmony to achieve the desired result. Once you do that, and again, you get the okay, place them in a bowl or a jar. And then just, make sure you're mixing them together once you put them in here, because it's going to make your hands messy. Once you put the water in, it gets really, really messy. FYI. But you don't want to use gloves because you want your ashe to get into the herbs, especially if it's for you. I used 2 cups of spring water and then 1 cup of rainwater that I collected during the new moon and the new year. So that has its own significance and its own power. But you can also use snow. It snowed today, and so a lot of snow. And so I set one of these outside. It's still snowing. So I have one of these outside collecting snow. And it's also a full moon. So there's that. Well, it's getting ready to be a full moon, but lots of snow. So you can use that if you can use snow if you need to. Or not, if you can just use 3 cups of spring water if you don't want to wait until it rains or it's not snowing or anything like that. You can also use untouched snow if you don't catch it while it's falling. As long as you get it from a place where humans and animals haven't interacted with it, it'll work still. It's still more powerful than regular plain water, especially if you collected it during a full moon, new moon, the new year, an important day in your family. Those are all good times to do it. And again, make sure if you have to use one of these, you put a piece of plastic between the lid. You can also, if you don't have spring water, you can boil tap water. And then, because you want it to remove the chemicals. You don't really want to use filtered water because it does still have the chemicals in it. So you can boil tap water, and it'll help get rid of a lot more of the chemicals. And then just save that and only use it for your workings. Just an idea if you're in a pinch. If you can make tea, you can make better water. And I would, like I said, I would use either your hands or like a wooden spoon to mix it. And again, avoid introducing metal into your workings if it is not part of the working. So a ceremonial knife is fine when you only use for workings. Ceremonial scissors or a very specific utensil that you use. Those are all fine as long as you cleanse those items regularly of your work and you only use it for workings and not to make spaghetti or cut your kids' strawberries. If you have an altar, I would place it on the altar to charge. For my Divine Feminine Water, I placed it on my altar to charge for 5 days. 5 being the number of Oshun, which, if you are familiar with Oshun, you know why I would pick that. If you are not, Google it or join mentorship. Link that down in the bottom. Or a place where it can get to moonlight, even if it's not a full moon. As long as like some lights, moonlight's gonna hit it, that works too. The moon is feminine, just in case you didn't know. So even if it's not a full moon or new moon, moonlight is also a good way to charge it. Either way, be intentional about it. Do what you're doing on purpose and know what you're gonna do ahead of time. Plan it and have a reason for doing it. And as long as you do that, it will still work. But the more layers of power you use, the more powerful your working will be. But in a pinch, it'll still work as long as your intentions are pure from start to finish, just so that we're clear. Once the item is charged, you want to strain it. Again, use cheesecloth if you can, and transfer it to the vessel you intend to use it in. So I actually got these from a local dollar store and it has a plastic top. This is not metal. So I will wash this out thoroughly. I will take this off. I will bless this in one of the Florida waters that I have, and I will make sure to get it like on the lip and stuff as much, and like all right in here where I can reach as much as possible, and definitely this part, just to make sure there's no weird juju in there. You can also put it in a spray bottle. They do make glass spray bottles, but they are hard to find. But if you have to use a plastic one, again, be intentional, bless it. And then you can dab the water behind your ears, on your forehead, around your neck, your collarbone, your pulse points if you want. It's not going to be very strong. You could spray it on your clothing, spray it on your bed, spray it on in your seat in the car, spray it on your chair at work if you sit down, anywhere where you're going to be sitting for a long period of time. You can also make an oil using, instead of the dried herbs, if you use the oil version, the essential oil version. And if you know how to make oil, then you know how to make oil, but you can still enchant your oils as well, and still make a divine feminine oil, and that'll be a little bit stronger than the water for at least putting it on your body. So that's it. It was really simple. It wasn't anything complicated. Enchanting the herbs is the thing that takes the longest amount of time, and then again, that's if you know how to do it, and divining to make sure you do it right, because the ancestors will check you if you don't do it right. So if you have any questions, please write those in the comments and I will answer them. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you get to see when there are more videos coming up here pretty soon, next weekend. Saturday, yes, Saturday, which 22nd, I think. I'm going to be going live, and we're going to be talking about generational curses, what they actually are, what they mean, how you can break them, advice on how you can break them, or if you've already broken a generational curse, like you were the first one to graduate, whatever. We're just going to be talking about that. And it's going to be like a town hall type situation, so you guys will be able to actually join me on the broadcast, like on camera, if you wish. Or you can at least post in the comments and any questions or any testimonials that you have. We want this to be a community type conversation. I don't want to just talk at you guys. So I want you to talk to me, and we can learn from each other's experience. So please make sure you subscribe so that you get notified when I drop new videos, and you'll get notified when I go live. And I will post a few more videos, and I'll remind everybody. So, but please join us for that. And again, the links to the community outreach program and our Coven's Facebook page are at the bottom of this video. And I think that's it. So thank you for joining, and have a wonderful week. Peace.